Hello and welcome to Turn Zero Loss, hosted by the Magic Engineers. I'm David, and with me today are my co-hosts Eli and Sherry. So I want to take you back a little bit in the history lesson here, okay? So in 1993, Wizards of the Coast released Magic the Gathering Alpha, forever ruining Magic the Gathering. Today,
And then they followed it up with its worst thing, beta.
Beta killed the game so dead.
And then Unlimited that was the dagger in the heart. And then they came up with the idea of white border.
So
And every set after that killed it.
yeah, so for the past 30 years, which is, by the way, longer than I've been alive, I've been saying that Magic is dead. But today, I think it's the first time, maybe it's not the first time I've truly meant it, but it's the first time I've certainly known it. We recently received a bunch of information about a lot of new prospective projects that Wizards of the Coast have on the
They are
pamphlet.
not prospective. They are confirmed.
They are confirmed, yes. And some of it is kind of interesting stuff. Like a lot of the new planes that they showed off are intriguing enough, but there's also a bunch of new other product that is supplementary. Things like Universes Beyond, Modern Horizons 3 has been confirmed. And I'm sure there's so much I don't even know where to start, to be perfectly honest with you guys.
I'm gonna be honest. Modern Horizons 3, it affects Modern and Legacy, but like I take a Modern Horizons 3 or just all the other crap that's going on.
Yeah.
They have like 5 new Universes Beyond actual sets that are coming out.
Yeah. So
I can't believe that.
Let's
do a
take it step
breakdown.
by step and go through what exactly has been revealed in the announcement. Eli, you probably know the best about it, so we'll have you carry it through.
All right, so we're going to start with 2024 because 2023 is almost over. The only relevant thing happening in 2023 is that with the Caves of Ixalan, something like that, they're
Love
doing
Caverns of Ixalan.
Last Caverns of Ixalan. That's it. They're doing another Universes Beyond with that, where they're going to have Jurassic Park involved somehow. So it's similar to the way that we had Transformers in one of the sets some time ago that I don't remember. We're going to have Jurassic Park creatures. Don't know how they're going to do that, but they're going to do it. They're going to be straight up a T-Rex, a Velociraptor. Maybe some of the characters show up. Who the fuck knows? Great job. Hate that so much.
It's just so thematically unfitting. Like, why Jurassic Park? I get because dinosaurs, that's the overlap you're trying to target, but it smells like cynical cash grabbing, like in its finery. And it's not even the most egregious one of them. It's certainly the most lore breaking, but it's not the most egregious.
Yeah. There's going to be a Universes Beyond standalone. I don't know if it's going to be a set because it's not released on the release schedule, but Final Fantasy is going to get a crossover with Magic. But going in order of 2024 release schedule, so this is what's been officially announced. Because, Magic likes to throw things in there all the time. Like, Wizards is straight up, we're going to throw a set randomly in here or something random. So, who knows if they stick to the schedule. But, starting in Q1 of 2024, we have Ravnica Remastered.
I didn't even hear about this one.
It's the original Ravnica block remastered.
So what they're doing with Time Spiral Remastered then? Is that what's going on? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and Dominaria Remastered.
Okay, I'm actually quite excited for that.
I'm okay with that. Like, any of the remastered sets, I think all of us will agree that those are good because they get reprints out and they create a good fun and draft environment. And we are very pro draft at this.
Correct.
I love Time Spiral Remastered, so I'm really excited because Return to Ravnica was my first Magic set that I started playing. So
that is in fact a very good thing that they're going to be doing.
We like this. Good job.
The very next set, which is going to be called Murders at Karlov Manor, is a return to Ravnica. And it's going to have its own specific play style, where I thought originally they were going to make a Clue flavored, like Magic flavored Clue game. No, instead they're going to make its own format specifically for these cards, where you can play Clue with Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, get ready for Planeswalker Colonel Mustard, guys. It's going to be a time.
They have announced that there's only going to be one Planeswalker per set from now on, starting with Wilds of Eldraine.
I understand, like, lore wise, but like there is no harm in like having 2 per set, especially if they were like the main characters of the set.
Yep, they're trying to kill the archetype overall right now, I think.
I don't think they're going to kill planeswalkers. They're literally one of the most broken card types of all time.
Yeah, but they're slowing it down. There's a lot right now. Anyway, so after we return to Ravnica, the very next set is Fallout. Straight up, it's just called Fallout. Doesn't have any fun names. It's just Fallout. We're going to be getting Fallout
We've
characters,
got Radroach cards.
rad roaches. We're gonna get
The
super
Master.
mutants. We're gonna get probably the Master. It's gonna be a mess.
Oh, and a nice multiplayer DLC that comes out that's basically like Fallout 76, because I know that went great.
Yeah. Because there are going to be Fallout Commander decks, because, every one of these sets has to have its own set of Commander decks. And then there's probably going to be, I imagine if this is going to be a full set, it's going to be like Lord of the Rings, where they're just going to have a bunch of shit shoved in here that's going to be overpowered and broken, make people buy the cards.
This is what I mean by the most egregious. Fallout has no place in Magic. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if you're a fan of the series. I'm not particularly drawn to it, but I despise this idea on a level that is very deep. This to me was what convinced me that Magic is well and truly dead.
You see, like, I can understand like a world that, like, 'cause I'm a huge fan of dystopian, like the dystopian genre as a whole, and kind of like the why we're here, why'd we survive type of thing. But you can totally work that into a Magic set. You can have a there's a way to have a dystopian plane all by itself, doing its own thing. That's basically it's basically apocalypse after apocalypse, and have its own Magic thing. I don't even know how it's gonna look, because Magic art style, even the more modern art style, doesn't really work with what Fallout is, with his like weird polygonal pictures.
Well, yeah, because Fallout's more like a retro future style in the post-apocalypse, where I don't think Magic is really suited to that art style or the way that or Black Owl Studios presented that universe initially. So I just that's one of my big problems with it, is that artistically, how do you make it fit? And often enough, they like what they did with the Transformers Universe Fallout cards. They just used images from the cartoon.
That's
And
what I was
like that.
thinking. They're just going to do the Pip-Boy cartoons.
I mean, for some of it that's
there's gonna-
fine, but
There's
I don't
gonna
know.
be Pip-Boy art for some creatures. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Just get ready for Pip-Boy to be an official creature type. Yeah.
Gross. As for the next one here, we have Outlaws of Thunder Junction, which is going to be a brand new plane that we're being introduced, and it looks like it's going to be a Wild West themed set, where apparently Oko is going to return, and he's going to have his own gang of people, and it's going to be a villain-based set, basically. We're going to learn what the villains are up to after all the people lost their sparks.
I dig it.
See, I can get behind that. Like, honestly, Magic's been eating something like that for a long time. They've always hinted at it, but never actually given it a world. So that's a normal set, though. I would like to clarify something but something. When Magic does core sets, they do them okay. I don't agree with the whole Murders at Karlov Manor thing. But when they're actual real premiere sets, or whatever the hell they're calling it now, they have been doing pretty good. But all this other stuff, the 70 other things per year that we get, is killing it.
Yeah, and we're not even halfway through this list yet. There's still more.
Or product.
More products. So 2024 still continuing. This is in Q2. The end of Q2 is going to be Modern Horizons 3. We already discussed Modern Horizon 3, and that, we're completely okay with this being a set, whatever, but can we stop rotating Modern so often? Like, this is what this...
It's literally every
sets do.
2 years.
I'm going to go a step further. I'm actually not okay with this set anymore. Let me explain why I say that. Because first of all, I think the idea of designing brand new cards for just a format like Modern, to me, is terrible. It's terrible practice, because there's no guarantee those cards will ever see reprints. And I know some have. I know Red and 6 did at some point. I know there's a few others that I can't think of off the top of my head. But to me, I don't think it's healthy to design for a format like that and have it kind of be that kind of locked down. It's the same reason I have problems with the Commander Masters stuff, or most of the Commander products with new cards for that matter, I take issue with. because I think it just narrows the focus of the game too much. And
And
it's
most
another big problem I have with Universus Beyond as well. It'd be like, because, these, the Fallout cards, I assume, are not going to be standard legal.
They're probably
Probably
going to
not.
be legacy. It's probably going to be legacy vintage commander. But
Yeah.
they can literally, well, I assume next year they're going to only give like one modern set, which is going to be Modern Horizons 3. So I assume it's just going to be like eternal legal format.
Yeah, but say you're a new player and you get into it because like, new Fallout cards, neat. I want to try it. And you end up going to a game store and you're like, this cool Rad Roach deck I built, I can't play because
you
it's
can't
not
you
standard
can't
legal.
play in every format. You can only play in formats that you don't understand yet,
Exactly.
or you're priced out of.
So it's a matter of, I don't even know what this product is for. Is it for Fallout fans? Is it for Magic players? Is it for, I mean, I'm sure there's some overlap, but is it for that overlap, or is it like kind of supposed to be broader? Like, because they're doing Jurassic Park and that's very broad. So I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out myself sometimes. Q3 of 2024. So we've entered the final part of this because there's only 3 Qs in this thing released so far. So we've got start of Q3 Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
This is just,
well,
it can't be, it's not worse than Fallout, but it's close.
I think it's actually,
really close.
let me explain why it's worse. Fallout, at least, is there a divergent timeline that is also not really our world anymore. Assassin's Creed is history, direct history from us. I know it's not, it's like historically accurate 100% of the time. But it's literally taking directly from human history.
I'm very slightly more okay with Ask Creed, and I'm going to call it Ask Creed because I hate those names. But I'm very slightly more okay with it because I think the art style fits a lot more with Magic's visual identity.
At the very least, that's the only thing we could.
That's the only thing I will forgive it, and that's enough for me because Fallout is just so incongruent with the rest of the Magic art style.
Didn't we predict that Assassin's Creed was going to get its own thing at some point?
It'd been rumored for like years at this point. I was honestly waiting to see it, and now it's here, which is kind of why I was kind of numb to it, is because I saw Fallout already, and that made me way more mad.
Yeah. And then the last 2 sets of Q3 are actually both brand new planes. Bloomburrow, which is going to be basically like what's it?
Cute and cuddly creatures.
Yeah, cute and cuddly creatures, but there's also like some ugly guys, And then there's Duskmourn, House of Horror, which it kind of looks like it's going to be another spooky set just for the end of the year for like October time.
I think it's actually going to be like, based on what I had heard, it's like, it's taking like, it's like the horror genre. So it's like, I think it's Cthulhian horror type thing.
I mean, I feel like it's more like Junji Ito-esque body horror.
I'll take that.
Because Innistrad already dove into the Cthulhuid stuff with the Shadows of Innistrad set block. Because so this is a completely, this is a more, I think, Eastern style of horror that they're going to go for with Duskmourn, which could be interesting. Bloomburrow, I have no idea what that's about.
I don't like the idea of Bloomburrow because based on, I'm just going to throw this out now, based on what I've seen in the other ones, we're going back to Lorwyn, which is, thank God, but it's in 2025. And we're also going back to, where is it?
Tarkir.
There's Tarkir and
Strixhaven. Or Archivos.
Yeah, well, okay. Sorry, I misspoke. Modern Horizons 3 is probably going to have squirrels because it always has squirrels. Which makes the kind of a cute and cuddly set because it doesn't have any story. Bloomburrow is a cute and cuddly story. And then we go back to Lorwyn, which is like a mixture of like that really the Brothers Grimm fairy tales, which I don't think really delineates that new plane from Lorwyn. Lorwyn is a cool plane, and we don't go back there until we see the cute and cuddly set. I don't like that at all.
So yeah, every set that's coming out in 2024, it just feels like there's no horror theme to all of it. It's all just like super disjointed, which is normally okay for Magic. But right now, like, if you took a new player and you showed them all these new sets and you asked them, what's Magic the Gathering about? They wouldn't be able to tell you. They'd be like, what? Is it just like Fortnite where we just grab characters from popular IPs and throw them in?
I mean, that's what it's at that point now.
Yeah.
I think we've officially Fortnited Magic, which I never thought I'd ever say.
It's a weird verb.
I hate Fortnite, so.
The only one of these sets I'm really excited for is Ravnica Remastered.
And it's the very first one of the year. So
Yeah. So my excitement is going to get killed immediately. But we'll draft it. It's a lot of fun. So
2024, and then it's all downhill. But hey, at least Sherry's moving closer to us so we could actually draft it in person.
correct.
Yeah. So
That'll be fun.
I do have to say, and this is as a channel, this is also speaking from the heart. I think from now on, we are only sticking to the main sets for any sort of reviews. This schedule is too much for us, as like my new job is going to involve a lot of travel and a lot of like hours. And we have to maintain our release schedule. I don't think we can keep up. Like, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys can even keep up with the spoiler seasons anymore. I can't.
I mean, they've already started like announcing when they're going to start spoiling. There was a Wild Spell Drain is next.
Yeah, they already spoiled
Yeah.
like half the bonus sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may make an exception for like really special stuff like Ravnica Remastered. I would like to do a set review of, because I have a pretty deep nostalgia for that particular plane. So
Well, it's like
Yep.
noted that are truly Magic, like true Magic sets. We're not doing the Return to Lord of the Rings Fallout Edition. We're not doing that set.
Yeah.
oh god, they're making another Lord of the Rings set. Oh no,
I don't know.
That hasn't been announced yet.
they're gonna do it. Who are we kidding?
I don't see how they could. They already did the entire story of Lord of the Rings. And I guess they missed the Hobbit.
They'll get the Silmarillion. They'll get the appendices. They'll get everything to scrape some
Like
money
the
out of it.
originating stories with even greater heroes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it feels like every time I look at the spoilers, it's just like one card after another. I'm like, I can't be excited about all these cards all the time. It's too much to keep up with, you know? Like, I haven't bought any Magic product in like half a year, I think.
I
And that's a significant amount of time for me to not have bought anything in my deal, because I haven't even bought singles.
Yeah, I haven't. I did buy when I was interviewing. I was bored and I went to a local game store, and this is kind of the state of even Magic packs now. I was like, okay, I'll spend $8, or I think I spent like $20 at a local game store in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, I'll see how the packs are for Lord of the Rings, just to know if they're actually like good enough deals for people buying and they're getting their money's worth out of them. I think they're changing up with the set boosters now, because I'm like, there was like one rare in each of them and they were really bad. Like, I usually have like out of 3 packs, I can usually find something that's not like worth any money, but is like at least a fun card. I didn't get that.
The set itself didn't have very many fun cards, in my opinion. It was more thematically like a fun set if you're into it, but even then, we already discussed this.
I like the lands that I got out of the pack, and even then, it's not guaranteed anymore that you get full arts, even though that every Magic basic is full arts now.
yeah. All right, so we want to move on to some of the stuff they've been discussing for 2025 or even 2020.
Yeah. Let's discuss it. We briefly touched it for a moment, but it's a lot of stuff that's been like kind of code names, so they don't have official names right now. So looking at the first set for 2025, because I think from now on, this is what we can expect for 2025 Q1. It's just a remaster of some old sets. So we have Innistrad Remastered.
I don't think it needed to be remastered, and I like the setting of those sets. It feels like they ruined it with Innistrad, a double feature.
I think that the mechanics of all 3 blocks of Innistrad that we've seen are just too disparate to really make a good draft environment.
Yeah.
If you just repackage the original Innistrad block, that's perfect. That's all you need to do. But if you're gonna add the Cthulhuid stuff of the Shadows block or the disaster that was the double feature sets, then I think that draft environment's gonna tumble down a cliff, honestly.
Yeah. I agreed. The next one is codenamed Tennis. It's going to get its official name eventually, but the codename Tennis is going to be a death race across 3 different worlds using the omen paths that were opened during the end of All Will Be One.
I don't know what the omen paths are. I guess that's just how checked out of Magic I've been lately.
All right, so the omen paths. So if you go back to Kaldheim, omen paths are the pathways that lead between the different worlds in Kaldheim. So the omen paths here are going to be leading to different planes because those now exist between planes.
I thought
So the first thing we're doing with these things is turning them into a racetrack.
Death racetrack, yes.
Is this an unset? This feels like an unset.
It feels like it should be an unset, but it's not.
It's an actual Magic the Gathering set. I mean, in fairness, I'm not opposed to the idea of a death race set because I think there could
across
be some
3
interesting
different
design
planes,
there.
it's just they say they're going to go back to those planes and never go back. This is how we go back to, was it Ugrotha or whatever?
This is how we get to Ugrotha. This is how we get to Chandelar.
If this
how
is
we
how they
get
do
to
shit,
all
I'm
our-
gonna be really, really mad.
Imagine how I'm gonna feel.
Yeah. So after Tennis comes Ultimate, codename Ultimate, which, as the name states, is going to be a Ultimate set returning to Tarkir.
Woo.
Yay for Tarkir, but they're going to screw up
I
the draft
do not
environment
mind.
because they won't put in fetch lands, those cowards.
Yeah, so
They better
what I
put in
imagine
Ugh.
what I imagine is going to happen is they're going to have the cons showing up in the same timeline as the dragons.
The timelines merge.
So we're going to have cons and dragons. Yeah. At least that's the rumors I've heard. You never know. The rumor mill could be wrong.
Yeah.
After Ultimate, we've got Volleyball. So Volleyball is in space and immerses players into a science fiction space opera.
Boo. Boo.
So I
Imagine the-
that's
Imagine if it's just the code name for the universes beyond.
Oh my god,
Universe.
this is Unfinity to
I-
Electric Boogaloo, but legal. Everything's legal.
Oh no! Even cheating.
I am-
Face.
I imagine Volleyball is going to be either a Beyond set or an unset, but I don't think they have any plans.
Well,
to
it's
do
because they
another unset
destroyed it
anytime
with
soon.
Unfinity. They literally made their cards
Yeah.
not be able to like tell the difference. You didn't legalize the one card that you were supposed to do,
Which
No,
is cheating face.
Sword
Yeah,
of Dungeons and Dragons.
should have
I
been Krark's.
Yeah, I know.
Krark's
And
other
that.
thumb as well.
Absolute cowards.
After Volleyball, we've got Wrestling, which is the one that we talked about earlier. They're going to be returning to Lorwyn.
Yay!
So, yay.
I'm kind of
Oh,
scared of how
sure.
they're going to screw it up
Sure.
because what I'm kind of cringing at and not like hoping they do is for some reason they're going to try to split up half of it being the Lorwyn side and half of it being the Shadowmoor.
Shadowmoor?
It's got to pick one. Pick Shadowmoor. It's cooler.
Yeah, truly.
Or alternatively, I think that actually could work if that idea they had where they split it up if they made more use of the day night mechanics.
No,
from,
do not bring those
Midnight
back.
Hunt.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Do not.
I'm just saying that's what they're gonna probably do.
They have the mechanic. They could definitely try it. And I'm willing to bet if they're going to, they're going to bring it back.
But it's one of the most
They're gonna do it
disliked
fair.
mechanics
Yeah.
because you have to keep track of it after everyone's done, and it does matter.
Yeah. It affects things greatly.
Yeah, well, that's what they're probably gonna end up doing. So yeah, Lorwyn's
about it.
ruined. Sorry.
Oh, one step back real quick that I heard. The official, in the official Magic Twitter or X, whatever the fuck it's called now, the X page.
Call it Twitter,
Oh.
despite
I don't
Also
like
in
that.
person.
Twitter. At the Twitter page of the official Magic the Gathering site, they announced that Mod Horizons 3 is going to be focused around double.
Oh no. Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, I forgot I saw that earlier. I just wanted to sprinkle that little tidbit in there to ruin the set further for all of us.
All right, so we're buying the set to burn it,
Unless
right?
it has the other cycle of fetch
it's a list
lands. So we check for fetch lands and then we burn it.
It's gonna have the same price point as Modern Horizons 2. Probably not gonna buy it. So Yachting is the next card. This is in 2026, so we finished 2025 at this point. They've announced out to 2026. Yachting is a return to the plane that Strixhaven is on of Arcavios. That's what it is.
Arcavios, yep.
So we're gonna see some more students, professors, and all the stuff that we got from last time. Maybe some new stuff from the plane. Who knows? Because they don't give too many details. And apparently, the last set that they've announced recently is Zip Lining, where apparently they're trying to build another multi-year storyline, just like War of the Spark or March of the Machines, and they're going to finish it in 2026.
Okay, how?
I don't understand how Death Race is involved with this, and likely the return of Nico Bolas, because I can't believe they aren't returning to them, because they aren't going back to the Eldrazi. There's no way. They don't know how to write for that.
Yeah, he might be back. Who the fuck knows? But so those are all the sets they've recently announced, and they just overwhelmed us with all this information on Magic's 30th birthday because they can.
I can't believe double face cards are inherently more broken. Do they want oops all spells again?
Yes. Yes, they do. Because what's design? What's gameplay? What's Magic the Gathering anymore? Like, that's really kind of where I'm at.
Magic is dead.
I know Magic just got its identity stolen. That's all it is.
Oh, it's trying to find its social security number.
Right now, I am calling Magic the Gathering indeterminate card game.
I love this game. And like a lot of the card designs, like honestly, I think we're in the era, like we've entered an era over the past like 3 or 4 sets of really, really great card design. The flavor and everything else is like literally crucifying it. And I hate it. I hate that. Like, I love the River Song from, what was it, Doctor Who, but I'll never play it because I just can't. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. I don't want to buy them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we never even talked about Doctor Who.
That's like out tomorrow or something. I don't
get fucked. Yeah. Who knows? You know,
I do. It comes out October 13th.
I thought.
Wow, that is
tomorrow. I don't know.
Straight up.
I'm so fried.
Tomorrow's Commander Master.
I thought it already came out.
Nope,
Yeah, it came out 2 days ago.
Pre-release was started. I thought.
I think this proves our point.
I don't know. This proves the point that we can't keep up with our release schedule for this thing. Commander Masters, my last little tidbit here before we wrap this thing up. Commander Masters is another shameless cash grab, trying to bank off the fact that there's so many Commander players out there that need those reprints. There's a lot of good reprints in the set, but you should never have to spend more than fucking $5 on a booster pack of cardboard. Like, come on.
Not to mention precons are $80.
140.
Fuck that.
At some point.
What? No way.
Right?
I thought MSRP was 80. Oh wait, they don't have MSRP. That's right.
Yes. They're sitting at 104 for this liver precon. Right.
Fuck off. That is so much money.
During pre-orders, it was 140. Yeah. So I just wanted to sprinkle that little tidbit in because I know it's a little disjointed, but like that's my last complaint for this whole entire what the hell is going on with Magic. It's money. That's all they care about. They want money. Don't give them your money, guys. We unofficially endorse buying a printer.
If you can make a printer work, I understand. And us as engineers, we fight with printers all day.
if you don't know how to do printers, there's a great store called Staples that you can go to where you can get these cards printed off for a nominal fee compared to what you would pay otherwise.
Allegedly, don't
Allegedly.
we don't officially endorse you doing that. However, if you take a screen cap of a card that you think is particularly cool, and then you cut it out into the shape of a Magic card and maybe tape it to the back of like something that's shaped like a Magic card, you got yourself.
And if you
a
want
nice
really
little
good
pocket there.
definition, make sure you definitely don't go to Scryfall and download the PNG.
Do not do that. Bad idea.
Definitely don't do that. And
Yeah,
definitely
no.
don't.
Get them off Google.
And if like you really want to really mess with your friends or anything, like definitely don't pay somebody to paint onto a card and make it look way cooler than the actual art does. Or ruin the art. They could totally ruin it by making it into like something
Actually,
despicable.
I think that this is
Or
something we should
alternative-
actually endorse. If you find a person with alternate sleeves, buy from like altered sleeves. If you can find a person that will draw cards for you, support them. Give them your, like, if you want to spend money on a booster box, give them $100 to make a one-of-a-kind fetch land. If they have the ability. Do that. That's what we're advocating for.
Or if you feel the absolute need to buy Magic cards that are completely official, beyond doubt, spend them at your friendly local game store.
Like,
Yes. Try not to give Father Hasbro
avoid, like, if you can do this in person or online directly through a local game store, not even like through like a third party, do direct from your local game store, do it. They need them.
Or create your idea, play a different card game.
Yeah, there's plenty of card games out there.
Pokemon's
Not
for me.
Not trying to say that like we are gonna stop doing Magic stuff because we still definitely really like this game, but like there's just a lot of things that we have to complain about because it's easy to complain about.
Yep.
It's easy to say what's wrong with things. For us to say what's good with things right now is kind of hard. There's
Yeah,
so much wrong.
I do want to make one final point. It's interesting because you and my journey, Eli, are very closely when we started Magic. Or started, well, for me, going back into Magic after a brief introduction and you starting it. We started right before Fire Design. And then in less than 5 years, we've almost completely burnt out of like the sets.
Yeah, it literally like in the span of the time of us learning how to play the game, actually buying some product, and then becoming invested in the game. Less than 5 years. It was literally our time in college together, and then maybe I guess it's been almost 2 years since we graduated college. So that's a thing. So maybe 6 years is the better time frame for us.
Yeah,
it
but
happened my first year.
to put that in perspective, I can't imagine what you feel like, David, especially
Much,
when you
much
came
more
in one of the
long-term
best
span.
blocks ever.
I don't really know what to feel. And I think that's infinitely more damning than any vitriol I could throw at the game.
Yeah, all of this is generated apathy. I've unfollowed a lot of people that I followed on like on like my personal Twitter or like on our official YouTube channel, just because I just can't handle the amount of stimulation every time an Orcish Bowmasters is released or they're reprinting something. And creators I generally care about, but I just can't see their content anymore. I can't watch it anymore. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's shocking to me that people can continuously be excited about this stuff. Like, I don't know if they're just doing it because they need the paycheck that badly, or if they're doing it because they're legitimately excited. Because I see people posting on Twitter all the time saying, "Oh my god, this new card is so broken. Oh my god, this new card is so broken. This card is so great. I need this card, blah, blah, blah." Like, how can you maintain that? It feels like it's just an air of uncaring about the fact that there's so much. Maybe they do care and they just don't want to talk about it. I don't know. This is getting a little more existential than I intended it to be.
Yeah,
It's
we're
an
talking about the
existential
existence of a
subject.
theoretical card game that only exists in our brains, really. I think we've reached a point where we are now we're not bitter old men because we're not the oldest men, but we've reached
we are
apathy, and now we're just
apathetic.
going to be like, okay, I will get a card like once a year, even though I have more than I have a good savings. I think we all have good savings here. We could all spend the money. At this point, we're choosing not to. And just honestly, I think that I think the fortunate path I see this is taking, along with Magic losing as its identity, is they are ruining the entrenched players at the cost of getting new players. And the fact that we came in just before Fire Design and we're already basically burnt out and apathetic in the last 4 years, it's I can't imagine it's not sustainable. It's not a sustainable business model, especially them upping prices with every new set.
Yep. So
We should get Dominion. That's what we should do.
we should get other deck building games. Dominion's fine,
Flesh
but it's
and
kind of
Blood.
shallow. We should get other games like Legendary and Ascension and Flesh and Blood, or the One Piece card game I've heard is pretty decent.
I'm totally
You
missing that.
When I move, you guys can start making me spend money again.
Nice.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed our fairly apathetic conversation to this whole new release schedule. Us imagining that Magic is probably dead still. If you enjoyed it, give us a like, comment on the video, tell us what you think. Tell us how you feel about all these overwhelming set releases.
Tell me how you feel about Fallout being a part of your game, or Jurassic
Yeah.
Park being a part of your game.
Yeah, give us those opinions. Follow us on Twitter. I don't care if somebody wants to call us something else. It's at Lost Turn. Follow us there.
Follow us on Why.
You know what? We might make a threads just to prove.
Have a
point.
great day.
Oh, jeez.
That's already a dying platform. Either way, have a good day, everybody.
Goodbye, and remember, Magic is dead. Sorry, Indeterminate
Magic
card game
is
is
slowly
dead.
dying.